So I'm going to talk about my favorite app, and that's TouchCast. I'm just going to pull down on the screen here to get the spotlight so I can find it, and it came right up, and there it is. So I'm here in TouchCast. Watch and Explore allows you to look at ones that have already been created, and that's sometimes useful to get an idea of how to do it. But I'm just going to go right in, and I'm just going to click on Cast, and that's where you start creating your own TouchCast. As you can see, there's a variety basically of templates. They all work exactly the same way, so it doesn't quite matter which one you choose, but I'm just going to give you the general idea. The reason that I like it so much is because teachers can use it to create the flipped classroom, to explain a concept. You can have your students do it to create a newscast, to explain a concept, to do a science lab, for instance, even to analyze a poetry or to do a current events feature, or maybe interview someone who used to fight in the Civil War. It has all kinds of creative features in it. So basically, what you think about to visualize it is if you were, oh, say, watching the daily news or watching the evening news. And there's always kind of a main person in the picture who's being videoed, and then there are these windows up on the side that will pop up to give a visual, to explain another video. Well, that's exactly how TouchCast work. Except what's incredibly cool about TouchCast is those windows that pop up are interactive. So the student can pause and read a website, or the students can pause, and if it's an interactive website, they can actually interact with it. Or if it's a Google map, they can zoom in on it. So it gives you incredible flexibility for a tutorial, again, for any kind of flipped classroom. I would say that students from about upper middle school all the way through high school can use it. Teachers of all ages can use it. It's a little hard, so perhaps lower school it wouldn't work particularly well, but perhaps they can figure it out as well. I just want to tell you that it is a little kludgy. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, I really think you will like it. So I'm going to come over here to the new TouchCast section, and I'm just going to choose the basic one, which just lets me video myself. You can see that the one next to it, Video Import, that one's pretty cool. When I tapped on that, that can take anything that's in my camera roll. It can take anything from a URL from, say, YouTube, and make the video the background. And then the pop-up windows can be you talking about the video, or it can be maps or a poll question. So it's a great way to make an interactive video. I'm just going to click back though, and I'm just going to come over here and do Create New, and you can see my hand over here. Here I am. And I'm going to tap on Create New, so I'm ready to go. Now, the special little pop-up windows, TouchCast calls them VAPs, V-apps. And really, when you're using TouchCast, the best thing to do, there's my hand again, the best thing to do is to plan it out in advance before you do the recording. So you want to add the VAPs that you need. You want to add, for instance, the whiteboard so you can type on it or draw on a whiteboard. You want to add the titles, everything you want to have set up. In fact, there's even a feature that allows you, if you wanted to type a script, and you can read a script on the side, just the way the president reads a script when he's talking. So let's say I wanted to do a TouchCast about, oh, I don't know, a poem that I like, and maybe it's going to be a poem about Emily Dickinson. And then while they're doing the poem, I want them to see where Emily Dickinson lived. I want them to see a picture of Emily Dickinson. Maybe I want them to read an article about Emily Dickinson. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tap Add a VAP. And this shows you the different kinds of apps that you can use. The ones that I believe are the most helpful, the most useful, the one that you'll use the most, are the web page one, which lets you put any web page in there. But again, what's cool is that the student can pause the recording and then read the web page. The video one is a new feature, and that's a really great one. That lets you put a YouTube video in there, so I'm just going to tap on that for now. So you can add a video from your camera roll, the same as before. You can add a YouTube video, you can use something from Instagram, so that's really terrific. And then obviously the photo one is nice too. Let's do the photo one first, because that's the easiest. I'm going to tap Photo Roll. You can see that it's going to my camera roll over here. I'm going to choose, I'm going to come back over here and come over here, and I'm going to say I don't happen to have a picture of Emily Dickinson right now, so I'm just going to tap that for a minute, I'm going to come over here to Safari. I'm going to look for Emily Dickinson. And here's Emily Dickinson. I think that's misspelled. Oh, there it is. And there's a picture of Emily Dickinson. Let's say I want to use it, so I'm going to tap on that. And then I'm going to tap and hold. And you see where it says Save Image? I'm going to choose Save Image. That's going to save that image to my camera roll. Now I'm going to slide back to TouchCast. And I'm going to come over here again. And, sorry, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to Record and Share, sorry. I'm going to come over to Create New because I didn't really do anything yet. I'm going to choose Add a VAP. I'm going to choose Photo. There's Emily Dickinson. I'm going to put Emily Dickinson. I'm going to tap on Emily Dickinson. It's all about tapping. So now I've added my first VAP. I can resize it. I can move it. For now, I'm also just going to tap on the top corner and close it up. So I have my first VAP. I can now come over here, choose another VAP. Maybe I want to get something about, a web page about Emily Dickinson. I'm going to tap web page. I'm going to, right now I don't know an Emily Dickinson. Now you can't search in here, but see over here where it says Google? I'm going to type Emily Dickinson. Hoping I'm spelling it right. Oh, I'm not, sorry. I'm going to do a search. And I'm going to scroll down, and for now we're just going to go to the Academy of American Poets. I'm going to tap on that. That's the web page I want to use. And you can see up on the top right hand corner it says Create VAP. I'm going to tap that. I now have this web page. You see how I can read it? I can resize it. I can zoom in on it, and I'm just going to, again, minus. So I now have 2 VAPs that I've added. I'm now going to come over here, and I'm going to go to the whiteboard. And you can see I can have different kinds of whiteboards. I'm just going to want a nice white whiteboard over here. And if I click on board, there it is. And I don't want it to be glass. I want it to be a whiteboard. Everyone see the difference? Glass means you can just kind of write. You see how I can write right over the video? But I don't want that. I want a solid whiteboard. And I want to be able to type an Emily Dickinson poem or copy and paste one in. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm just going to type. So you see I typed on Text Tool, and then when I tap on it, it comes up, and I would say poem goes here. Oh, but except I'm typing in white, forgive me. So let's do that again. So I have to come over here and change the color to black. Let's go to Text Tool, and let's tap again, and I'm going to type poem goes here. And of course I would either copy and paste the poem or type the poem. And I'm going to hide the board. Now this is the tricky thing because this actually VAPs and whiteboard. And when you're doing your recording, you're going to have to move back and forth. The same thing as titles. You can have a title pop up. But you see how it's really one record, record, record. Now I want my whiteboard, so I'm going to tap my whiteboard. Now I want my VAPs. When I'm in whiteboard, I come over here where it says board. I tap board 1. Here's my poem. As soon as I press record, it's going to record me reading the poem aloud. It's going to allow me to talk about the poem. I can then hide the board. That takes me back to the record feature, hit VAPs, and now I'm going to come over here. Here's the Emily Dickinson. I can record myself talking about it. I can say to the student, please pause now. I can then tap on the Emily Dickinson page before I should put this down. Sorry. This, by the way, is a toggle switch. I tap it on, I tap it off. Tap it on. I can now say to the students, please pause this recording and come over and read something about Emily Dickinson. As you can see, it's interactive. They can make it bigger so that they can then read it. I can always go back over here, go to the whiteboard, make a glass whiteboard by coming over here, new board, glass, and then you see how I can then use my marker tool to point out things to the students as I'm recording. You can only do a 5-minute recording maximum. You can have a huge number of VAPs. You can have as many as you want. You can instruct the students to pause. I could have put a Google map in for where Emily Dickinson's house is. I could do a Google News search on Emily Dickinson's articles for them to read. I could put a question in, a multiple choice question for them to test their understanding, or a poll for them to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. But again, the ones that you will use the most often are web page, photo, and video. So I hope you have a lot of fun, and I hope you give it a try.